I'm Rachel Podger and I'm delighted to invite you to celebrate the start of spring, which coincides beautifully with Johann Sebastian Bach's birthday on the 21st of March, with Early Music Day. Everything was right when you listen to Bach somehow. So I do notice if a day goes by without either playing Bach or listening to any, I do actually notice the day. There's something missing that day. It's like you forgot to go outside or something. There are so many riches to be discovered in all of these different national styles. And national styles meaning, well, European styles, of course, so German, French, Italian, Spanish, British, and the correlation between the styles, the overlap, all the different traditions. It's just a fascinating topic. So I think delving into the different traditions of the national styles is really important when you're exploring early music. And any student of early music will, of course, do so. And it's a little bit like learning a spoken language. So, for instance, when you're learning French in school, if you then look at French art and listen to the music of that time, it will really help you understand the spoken language, and exactly the other way around. If you listen to some Couperin and then hear someone speak French, it kind of goes hand in hand. It's just so delightfully connected. If you put them next to each other, they are just as diverse as we are, but yet they have so much in common, of course. And there's so much connecting them because of what happened historically. People travelling around, obviously at a rather slower pace than today. But still there was a lot of communication, especially musicians and artists. So you then have all the connections between the different styles. And of course various composers excelled in combining them, not least to say Bach himself. I often get asked the question, if you've performed the seasons, the Vivaldi seasons, so many times, how do you cope with that? How do you perform it so many times, without getting bored? Which is a legitimate question. But like with anything that you have to repeat over and over again, it becomes a kind of automatic exercise, or it can do, can't it? So what helps me is just to look at the score just fresh every time, and just to see what's actually there, what's written there, what's going on there, rather than kind of planting ideas onto it. So everything comes from the score, and I think that's a very basic and essential thing that I've learnt. Of course, there's been this huge revival of early music. So it started out as a kind of niche thing and kind of like a revolutionary kind of underground movement. So that's all changed throughout 50, 60 years or more. And so much work was done by these initial pioneers. And I'm very lucky to be of the generation that has benefited from all that kind of groundwork that was done then. And now we're at a time where it's basically mainstream, and there are a lot of students, a lot of players out there who excel both at playing early music and also play in modern symphony orchestras sometimes. And then there are a lot of, what I would call mainstream early music groups that perform worldwide. I'm very lucky to be doing things like that. So you might be, in the USA one week, and then in Japan a month later or so, and Europe in between. And so we have really made it into a global movement. And that, I think, is absolutely amazing. And for me, it's all about communicating with the audience and educating an audience, first of all educating ourselves and then educating an audience in the best sense, which is all to do with sharing the beauty and the language of this incredible repertoire. Character, of course, talking of character within musical style, within the key of the piece, within a certain affect is so much part of the language, and that's how we know what to say. We get that, of course, from what's on the page. So early music has obviously been a big part of my life, ever since I remember, really. I remember growing up to the sounds of Monteverdi and earlier repertoire, and of course most things beyond. And so why is it important? What does it mean to me? To me it's all about expression, really. Expression of different musical languages, different national styles, and everything that encompasses, everything that the word expression encompasses. Well, since I'm so honoured to be ambassador for Early Music Day, and it's on Bach's birthday. Of course, Bach is just really right up there, but he's also, of course, very earthbound at times, and he seems to be very much in life and so part of everything. And I think the most compelling thing about his music is really that there seems to be no ego whatsoever, whereas with other composers, possibly Vivaldi, very much kind of showmanship involved in the music, and with Bach you just become part of it, or it's much easier to become part of it and to dissolve into the music, and then that's what the listeners get, rather than the performer. They hopefully get the music.